everybody. I'm Larry Ridley, and this is the NFL on EA Sports. Two teams will need their quarterbacks to step up and lead their offenses on the gridiron today. It's the Broncos going up against the Raiders. So with kickoff approaching, let's send it over to our commentators here this afternoon, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Larry, after an off-season of questions, football is back here in the East Bay at Oakland, California. Today, it's a matchup in the AFC West between the Denver Broncos and the Oakland Raiders. In the backfield is Anderson. Now a play fake here on first down. Oh, he's going to take a shot right away. Almost able to intercept it. That's one he would have liked to have held on to on his first drive. Instead, second down. And I don't want to say that this offense starts and ends with Demaryius Thomas, but sometimes it starts and ends with Demaryius Thomas.
There's no reason you can't say it if it's the truth. He is the alpha and the omega of the receiving corps.
A dump off to Anderson. And they'll bring him down at the 27-yard line. Give him 2 yards on that play, and it'll be third down. Quickly now, the starting 11 for the Oakland defense.
Reggie Nelson is a safety who prides himself on being a ball hawk, but at times will guess and sometimes give up the big play.
And no press coverage here. They are backing off in the secondary. Throwing on third down, Simeon. And he will have a man, Demaryius Thomas. And he will have first down yardage as he's brought down at the 41.
I don't care how many times we see it. I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. First down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation. And that's when it's fun to play defense. When you're able to diagnose a play right from the beginning, get all your guys to the football, and spill the play, that's when you have a lot of fun playing on that side of the ball.
To the air again, Simeon. He'll air it out deep for Thomas. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Sean Smith. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Charles, when plays like that work, it's a thing to behold, but sometimes we see why they're buried deep in the playbook.
And how many times have we been at practice and heard all the other guys chirping about, you know, I used to play quarterback in high school, I can do this. Until it becomes a game situation. Not quite the same in many cases.
Well, sometimes we talk running backs. Sometimes we talk wide receivers. Walford, the tight end in this unit, very important.
Clive Walford, a terrific player. Knows how to work the inside portions of the field, but also can surprise you and get deep.
A nice pickup there of 11 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
When you execute a drag or a crossing route really well and give them a chance to let it develop a little bit, you can gain some significant yardage hitting your tight end on that one.
On first down, Murray. And he'll rumble for about 5, up close to the 40. Murray had the 1,000-yard season in 2015, followed that up with 788 last year. Now, also in the mix in Oakland, you had Washington, you had Richard. How do you see this backfield playing out going forward?
I think you'll see a similar combination going forward. I think that's one of the reasons that he dropped from a 1,000-yard runner to 788, because they had other options. They're able to bring in Washington, Richard. They can use different plays for those guys, a lot of versatility, and really upgrade their offense with an infusion of speed. But Latavius Murray, I think he'll still continue to be the lead guy out of that trio.
It finds Crabtree for the completion. Michael Crabtree's going to go. 20. And all the way in. Touchdown, Oakland. Michael Crabtree, 67 yards. And the Raiders have taken the early lead. Good pass, clean catch, and a house call there on the fly route.
And not that much room to operate. So that tells you about his acceleration. We always talk about being able to go from 0 to 60 real fast. Took him less time than that to get to top speed and complete that play.
And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. And coming out now, the Broncos. And following the interception, we'll see what they can put together on this drive.
I can hear my old college coach right now. He always used to tell us before every game, the team making the fewest mistakes will win. What they're hoping is that that last mistake is their only one of the game.
Coaches, that's all they talk about, turnovers, right?
Minimizing those and maximizing opportunities.
2nd and 5.
Let's go! Green, 39!
On 2nd down, here's Simeon. And the Raiders have got him. Khalil Mack in there to make the sack. He buries him for a loss of 10. Boy, he came in off the edge so quickly there.
Look out, because that's exactly what it was being shouted by the offensive lineman to his quarterback, because he had no chance to block him.
Leopard, let's go!
Off the fake to Booker and Simeon. Throwing the comeback route. He's got the hook up to Thomas.
Well, the bad news, the Denver Broncos did make the playoffs, but the good news for Demaryius Thomas, he was over 1,000 yards again as a receiver.
6th straight year he's done that, but yards per catch and touchdowns down a little bit. Any of that due to the change at quarterback?
Think about it. For him now, in the last 2 seasons, he's had to get used to 4 different quarterbacks throwing him the football. I think that yards per catch will go back up when he gets some consistency.
Taken from just outside the 30. That'll go as a punt of 32 yards. And the Raiders. Will take possession. They go play action here on 1st down. Sliding out of the pocket. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. It'll go as a gain of 10 there. And that'll be good for an Oakland 1st down.
We talk about mobility on quarterbacks all the time. Here's where it really pays off. Able to move, evade, and is accurate throwing on the run and picking up a 1st down.
They pitch it out to Murray. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. And a look now at how the Broncos line up defensively.
Brandon Marshall, no, not the wide receiver, a quality linebacker who can cover very well.
They go play action for Murray. Now Carr. And there is Amari Cooper, his first catch. A good pickup there, 26 yards. So Amari Cooper out of Northwestern High School in Miami making a nice play there.
And it's so funny that when I was going through the draft process when he came out of Alabama and was inquiring about him and his skills, they say it all began back in Miami. He really became a pro receiver at a young age because of his attention to detail and precision. But don't forget his athletic ability. That's what made that catch there.
And he did spend 1 year with Teddy Bridgewater as his quarterback there, so that helped back in high school. On play action, now Carr. And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up third.
Well, we're not playing 3 yards in a cloud of dust football anymore. I kind of get why those old school coaches sometimes didn't want to throw the football. Because if it's popped up in the air, it almost turns into slow.
And he will not get away from the pressure here. Carr taken down. Ready to go now in the second quarter. Brandon Gaudin, Charles Davis. It's the Raiders in possession of the football. They are, however, facing a 4th down situation. And the first play will be a field goal try. From the right hash, this from 48. And the 38-year-old vet able to split the uprights. And that will make our score 9-0. So as it turns out, that sack does not wind up costing him, at least in terms of getting points. They get 3.
Yeah, once you see your quarterback go down the backfield, you think, uh-oh. But fortunately for them, their kicker came to the rescue and made sure they got something out of that drive after all.
This will be fielded at the 8. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. And Denver getting set to take the field. And 3 and out on the last drive. No points on the scoreboard. A little soul-searching now.
I would say so, and they need to help out their defense a little bit. They've had to be on the field a lot more than normal, put them in some tough spots. But what's the old adage? When you get another chance, it gives you a better chance to do it right.
3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
Partner, you know I love to point out when teams break tendency and do something a little bit different from the norm. But when you run the ball in the first play of the drive, that's not a tendency breaker at all. That's just trying to establish yourself as you move forward.
Here's Simeon now on second down. And that's incomplete.
It's a tried-and-true formula, and I don't think it'll change for as long as we play football. If someone's trying to throw the ball and you can put pressure on them and make it tough, that's only going to help your defense.
Yeah, he's since being hurried. He got rid of it before taking the hit, but incomplete. Throwing on third down, Simeon. Eluding the pressure right. Now he's going to send this one deep right side. And the defense loses him. It's complete. And all the way home for a Broncos score. Benny Fowler, 68 yards. And the Broncos have cut it to within a score. It took them a while to get their speedster involved, but they found him downfield there.
And what we've discovered as we've watched games is the speedster doesn't have to have a lot of catches, doesn't have to have volume in order to have a huge impact on the game. His speed scares the heck out of defenses, and other guys can capitalize, but when you finally hit him and he carries it all the way into the end zone, that's what you're paying him for. That big threat that can make big plays on a limited number of catches.
That's how you step on the stage with your first catch, take it to the house. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Raider offense now making their way toward the huddle. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because
he rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by Aqib Talib. And he returns it into enemy territory down to the 45-yard line. And Denver getting set to take the field. And they're hoping to capture some of that magic they had last time out when they were able to put together a scoring drive. But they're still down here, Charles.
Not the major concern, though, because of what you talked about. They scored the last time out. They feel good about themselves. They feel like their game plan is now in effect. They know how to attack and what plays they want to put together. But they've got to keep it moving in the right direction because, as you did note, they are down on the scoreboard.
After the interception, here's Simeon. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Demaryius Thomas, the intended receiver. And that'll bring up second down.
Let's give some credit to the defensive guys on that play. Able to bat that one away. Sure looked like they were trying to hit the corner route.
Second and 10, Simeon again. And his throw here's incomplete. They come up in an empty set. 4 wide receivers, 1 tight end. From the gun on third, Simeon escaping the pressure right. And he dropped it. Now it was tipped. Altered the ball a little bit, but he dropped it. And now 4th down.
The out route's such a timing route that sometimes the guy throwing the ball just throws it almost blindly, just kind of counts on that timing winning. And in this case, the ball was batted away.
And did he have enough? He did. He kept it on line and managed to tuck it into the bottom right corner. And, Charles, when you start talking about NFL kickers that have hit from 62 or further, it's a pretty short list, isn't it?
That it is, but how about the trust by a head coach to even let your kicker try from that range? That's really showing a lot of faith that he can get the job done.
Yeah, faith and guts. And now Oakland ready to take the field. And last time wasn't pretty. One play and an interception. We'll see if they can do better.
I want to see if they want to go ahead and throw the ball again now on this drive after what happened on the last one. Throw it on the first play. Give the quarterback some confidence.
See what happens. They go back to the air here after the INT. On the crossing route, he hits his man, Amari Cooper. And they'll get 19 yards there. And the Raiders are going to have a first down.
It's funny when I go back to our pregame meeting with Amari Cooper, and we mentioned, what they play man coverage against you. He almost seemed offended by it, didn't he?
I'll beat it. That's basically what he said, right?
I mean, the best receivers we've ever talked to and covered, when you talk about covering them with one guy, they think that's a personal affront. If they feel like if they can't just beat one defender, then they're not very good.
So now 11 yards to go for this offensive unit. It's 2nd down. Working from the gun, it's Carr. And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd.
Anytime a ball's thrown in the middle of the field that's popped up in the air, I expect someone to catch. It doesn't matter whether it's offense or defense because there's usually a great amount of bodies in that part of the field. In this case, no one came up with it.
And he will not get away from the pressure here. Carr taken down. Jared Crick able to get him down for a loss of 11 on the play. And it'll be 4th down. This will be fielded at the 17. Oh, he nearly broke that one. As it stands, though, a heck of a 36-yard run back. And it'll be a short field for the Broncos as they take over 1st and 10. And Denver getting set to take the field. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted. And we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that. And they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. On 2nd and 10, Simeon. Screen play, Anderson. And he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line. Only a yard there. Sniffed out well defensively, and it brings up 3rd.
So many things have to come together just right for a screen pass to break for big yardage. The blocking, the timing of the pass to the runner, everything has to fit together just right. But on that play, the defense was able to disrupt things and hold it to a short game.
A shotgun snap for Simeon. Flushed out right. Going right side here, and that's complete. A pickup of 11, and it moves the chains.
Looked like the defense put pretty good pressure on him, but he's able to flush out to his right to try and evade people. On the run, had to get on his horse. Still accurately throws a nice pass for a 1st down.
Green alone out to the right. On 1st down, it's Simeon. He throws, and he hits the slant route to Thomas. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25.
In today's football, where receivers break tackles, make people miss, get upfield for the extra yardage, when you see a play like that where it's caught and he's dropped on the spot, that's a big-time play by the defense. So now 1st and 15.
Thomas, the lone receiver, left.
Green, 39. No, check, Patriot.
To the air again, Simeon. He's going to let it go deep for the end zone. Now a battle for the football. It's caught. It's a touchdown. Demaryius Thomas with an acrobatic catch. And the Broncos have taken the lead. And Charles, the defender, was there. He just didn't get it.
Sometimes these plays turn into basketball in a sense. With two guys going up for the football, which guy's going to box the other away from it and grab it?
Yeah, I know you hear it a lot, but it's just the will to get it, right?
Oh, without a doubt. The will, as well as some really nice touch on the ball that was thrown.
And some talent, too. And now here come the Raiders. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
Throwing on first down is Carr. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. The man who won a Super Bowl MVP award across the bay in Santa Clara, Von Miller, able to disrupt yet another pass play, his third sack of the afternoon. Carr going to throw. Here's Wolford over the middle. A good pick up there of 20 yards.
And he's the epitome of what we call the move tight end. A guy that you can line up anywhere. In the slot, out wide, in tight. Doesn't really matter because he has such great skills. You want to utilize him in all aspects of your passing offense.
And there he was in the slot for the catch. Now Carr throwing on second down. Over the middle, Amari Cooper. It's complete. And he'll get it down here to the 43. So a minute 55 to go in the first half. We'll come back to Oakland after this. So the offense has it first and 10. On first and 10, here's Carr. His throw incomplete. Amari Cooper, the intended target. And it's second down.
It's always tough for the guys throwing the football when they think they've got a completion and the ball's almost there, and then someone sneaks a hand or two in and bats it away.
Roberts with it over the middle. The reception good for 7. It's third down.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you go lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-armed guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
Looking to speed things up here, going with some tempo.
And fit's the exact right word. Over the middle, there's almost always traffic, so anytime you're a receiver in that area, you're not just focused on catching the football. You're wondering where the collision's going to come from, right? Because there's almost always someone there able to concentrate, catch it, and even added a little extra at the end with a short run.
They come up in an empty set. 4 wide receivers, 1 tight end. Carr again here on second and 10. And that'll be incomplete. He was trying to get it to Michael Crabtree there. And it's third down. It's been a pretty long drive. This will be play number 9. And they need 10 yards out of it on third.
There are a good number of coaches that any time they call an in route are really worried about the play because there's so much traffic ordinarily that the ball has to get through to get to the receiver.
Now the Broncos are going to take a timeout. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. And a really long drive here, and it goes on and on. Again, it's Carr. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Well, the pressure, the hits, the sacks have been coming at him all game long. I'm frankly surprised that they haven't found a solution yet to create more time for him to throw it or maybe change what they do on offense.
And that's one of the biggest differences in this game and why they're losing right now. And that is incomplete.
All defenders get tired of hearing about their lack of hands and why they're playing defense instead of offense. But in this situation, it was the hands that made the play. Batting the ball away on an attempted touchdown pass, excellent job, way to knock it down.
This will be caught at about the 5. And now the Broncos will burn another timeout here. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. Can this defense hold them out? Here we go now. 4th and goal from the 2.
All right, here we go. Red 18.
They'll try and run with Murray. And this one will wind up with him losing yardage back to the 4-yard line. Latavius Murray stopped up short, and the Bronco defense comes up big. And tough starting field position here. Thomas, the lone receiver, left. From his goal line here, Simeon, incomplete. C.J. Anderson, the intended target. And that'll bring up 2nd down. And the D-line pinching together must be expecting the run. From deep in their own territory, they look to throw. And he comes back with one complete. Now whistles, and the Raiders are going to signal for a timeout. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. So completion on 2nd down, that brings up 3rd. They come up in an empty set. 4 wide receivers, 1 tight end. 3rd and 2, Simeon. And Fowler's got it. And he's going to have the first down as he's marked down just shy of the 20. It goes as a gain of 8, and it moves the chains. And they're going to speed things up here. Back to throw, Simeon. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete. Demaryius Thomas, the intended receiver, and now it's 2nd down.
When defenses get to the quarterback that quickly, a lot of times it's called a jailbreak. It wasn't quite that fast, but fast enough that he had no time to look downfield and set himself to throw the ball. And as he tried to do that, he was hit, and it forced an incompletion.
Second and 10, Simeon again. Screen play, Anderson. And he's got. Now the Raiders are going to use another timeout here. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime.
Time to give a little credit here. That was an excellent read by the guys on the defensive side of the ball.
Oh, you're crediting the defense.
Got to credit them on that one because they tried to fool him, right? Tried to trip him.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Now hang on here. Timeout called by the defense. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. Here's Riley Dixon now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. And he's able to get it out of there, and this is a pretty good kick. This is taken around the 12. Oh, shifty. Whoa. Time for a break. We've hit halftime. 2 quarters down. 2 still remain. We step aside. This is the NFL on EA Sports. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Out comes the Raiders offense. They'll go on offense first to start quarter number 3. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission?
Typically, what they're doing is emphasizing the things that went well in the first half and wanting more of that. Sure, you've got to go over some of the errors and clean up some things because there's a reason you're down. But overall, I think they want to stay positive, stay up with this team. We're just starting the second half, and we've got the football. Let's go ahead and punch it in, and then we'll take it from there.
See how that recipe works. Carr. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be 2nd down. Let's look ahead for a quick minute. We don't have the schedules yet for next year, but what we do have are the 5 international games that will be played, 4 in London and then 1 again in Mexico, Jacksonville, Baltimore, Miami, New Orleans, Cleveland, Minnesota, Rams, and Arizona. Those in London, and then Mexico's going to get a great game. the Raiders and New England.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And just think about the ones in London. Remember, they're splitting them between the two different stadiums in London, so they get a different flavor in all of these places. In Mexico, for the second straight year, the Raiders are coming to town. That should be a whole lot of fun.
Should be a ton of fun and a very good matchup. He lost 4 there, and it's 3rd down.
When we did DeMarcus Ware's games in Dallas, didn't we spend most of the time talking about him rushing the passer?
We did, and how about now?
Oh, boy, he's expanded his game in a big way. Really does a great job in the run game now, using his length, using his leverage to hold the point of attack and make plays, as we just saw there.
And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the first. So they're on that play. Offensively, they were in the crossing route. Defense was in zone coverage. So as a former DB, how tough is it to defend that?
It's really difficult because your natural inclination is to chase the receiver and maybe leave your zone. So you have to have discipline in order to talk to your other coverage guys and let him know that that receiver's crossing from your zone to the next zone. He's coming your way. Make sure you have him. And then when the ball is actually thrown, secure the tackle. When they're moving on crossing routes, if you miss a tackle, it usually results in a big play.
They get 11 back on that one. It leads to 3rd down.
When you call a wide receiver screen, no matter how many blockers you get in front of the guy that catches the ball, there's still an aspect of the guy catching it, turning into a runner, breaking tackles and creating his own yardage, and he just did on that play.
Now Carr. Quick hitter here. It's complete. And he's able to pick up the first down here before he goes down at the 26.
And Brandon, from our time in college football, where receivers weren't running the traditional NFL route tree, one thing they did learn, find open areas, find soft spots, and set up and catch the ball. And I think we just saw that there.
Yeah, we saw that indeed, picking up the first. That one goes for 16 yards. It sets him up 1st and goal.
Partner, it's a lot of fun watching the NFL now, isn't it? Because when the big fella runs routes, it used to be when we were kids, he'd run about 3 different routes, and that was it. Now he can run anything and catch the ball, as we just saw there. All right, Brandon, you know me as well as anyone. You know I don't usually advocate abandoning things during a game, but here we are in the second half. I think it's time to change things up. Led the running game.
And he is in. Touchdown, Raiders. Michael Rivera from 10 yards out. And the Raiders, they're within an extra point of tying this thing up. Boy, it's nice to have that big, reliable target you can go to.
Each and every time. A lot of people see that position as a fallback. Throw it to them when all else fails. Not at all. This guy can make plays, and that's exactly what he just did.
Yeah, play here for a touchdown. Nothing separating these two teams on the scoreboard as the kick's away here. This one taken just inside the 10. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. So now a look at the Broncos as they head back out there for their first possession of the second half. First half showed us some pretty good offense. Tie game, we'll see what the second half brings.
And it'll be interesting because I think both sides feel pretty good about what their offenses are doing. Gotta wonder what adjustments are being made defensively to try and get a spark and maybe slow down the other side.
But here, do you change up anything on this opening drive?
Not offensively, you don't. You got everything going your way. You've probably prepared for maybe some change-ups you might expect, but overall, you like what your game plan's showing you.
Shift together here from the D-line. Play fake to Anderson. Now Simeon. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away. But the bottom line is, that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
And they're just a couple of yards shy of a first down here on 3rd down. They come out here in the eye. They'll run it. Here's Anderson. And he's got enough for the first across midfield to the 48. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks.
Absolutely love the run right there. This guy's known for his quickness, but also for his speed. And he's able to get to the second level almost before you blink if you give him any type of blocking. Always talk about slot receivers, and they're usually known as quicker than fast. In this case, we've got a guy who's quick and fast, and he used it to great advantage.
They run. Anderson. And that's a loss of 7 on the first down play.
Well, so much for all the time that you spend in practice, because for offensive linemen and running backs to get in sync, that requires a ton of practice time, a ton of watching tape together, a ton of really getting to where you're thinking with one mind on every single play that's called, every single run, because you want to know how your guy's going to block it. They want to know how he's going to run it, what kind of cuts he's going to make, and it's really anticipatory. And when you're really locked in together, you know what he's going to do before he actually does it. On this play, that didn't happen at all, and that turned into a big loss.
And some changes here as the D-line separates some. Third and long. It's Simeon. Flush to his right. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Khalil Mack in there to pick up his second sack now of the afternoon.
That's his second sack of the game, and the best defensive ends, they do their homework as much as offensive guys do. They know how to beat the offensive lineman across from them, what moves they need to do to set them up. This guy's been pretty good at it all game long.
And he fields it cleanly. A beautiful fake. A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And the offense will come back onto the field for the 1st and 10. And now Oakland ready to take the field. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing, because that drive went and went, no adjustments, and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
Now Carr over the middle, Amari Cooper. It's complete. Back now in the East Bay. All even as we get ready to start the 4th. Short of the sticks after that completion, and now it's 3rd down for this offense. Carr going to try and throw on 3rd down. A strong running. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he's got the 1st down as he's up to the 45-yard line. It's an 8-yard pickup and leads to a new set of downs. Offense comes to the line now, 1st and 10. 2 receivers left, 1 to the right. They go play action here on 1st down. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. These strong safeties, some people may not realize it. It's really like an extra linebacker, right?
It really is, because they're hybrids. Half linebacker, half defensive back. The linebacker in him on that play emerged.
We ready? Red 18. Ready.
Carr to throw on 2nd down. And incomplete. Latavius Murray, the intended receiver, out of the backfield. And it'll bring up 3rd down.
And the Broncos go to a nickel set on 3rd down.
Yeah, they've got an extra DB out there. Carr now to throw. And this is caught. Amari Cooper. And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. They give him 27 yards on the 3rd down conversion. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on 3rd down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times, because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up the 1st down.
A good pickup there of 20 yards. And now a 1st down following that long gain. And passing yardage-wise, now up over 350 in this game. Pretty nice performance.
Definitely that, which usually means you're putting a lot of pressure on guys trying to cover. If you're a defensive back and they put over 350 yards on you, you've had a long day. The key to everything, if you're doing it without throwing interceptions or turning the ball over.
10th carry of the game now. Murray. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. It's a good gain of 11. Sets him up 1st and goal. And a new set of downs here after picking up the first on the ground.
And that run was what a lot of people call an explosive run. Gave them good yardage, solid yardage. They feel good about the whole thing, and they did it behind a 2 tight end set. It's always interesting to watch what offenses want to do with the 2 tight ends. Sometimes they line them up together for a power set. Sometimes they put one on each side of the line of scrimmage to balance things out. No matter what, though, when you see 2 tight ends on the field, your first thought is to think run. In this case, the offense was able to run successfully.
And that is caught. Touchdown, Raiders. Clive Walford, a 2-yard touchdown grab. And the Raiders have moved out in front.
That's almost just not right. You cover everybody. But those tight ends, they can be awfully reliable.
Very reliable. The defense just has to hate those guys.
Just drives them crazy because oftentimes you can't match up with them. They have you either with size, speed, or maybe even just strength.
Now Janikowski following the score. He'll boot this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Now this Broncos offensive unit ready to head back out onto the field. And last time out they had to punt the football away. Anything positive possibly to take from that?
There always is when you're punting the football away. It doesn't sound like it because you're giving it up. But you've avoided a mistake.
At least you didn't turn it over.
You didn't turn it over, right? You're giving your defense a chance because you're punting the ball away, and they're set to go on the field as opposed to sudden change after a turnover. And wow, now we got to go out there and stop people. So, yeah, there's always something positive to be gained from it.
Here's Simeon now on second down. Over the middle, open is Thomas. A good pickup there at 22.
He's come a long way since his time at Georgia Tech. What did he run at Tech? He ran hitches and go routes, essentially.
Yeah.
I mean, but he ran them really well. He averaged well over 20 yards a catch while he was there. And he still creates downfield in the NFL. That big body and that willingness to go catch the football. He's pretty impressive.
And his friends call him Bebe, the nickname his uncle gave him back in the day. A nice little screen. They get 6 on first down.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass. Looked like it was coming together. Looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid game.
On second down, Anderson. And he's going to be hemmed in and brought down right at the line of scrimmage. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up third.
Oftentimes when you're not winning at the point of attack for an offensive line, maybe they're getting out physical, spread things out a little bit, make it more of a one-on-one blocking scheme. Then you don't have to win it physically. You just have to win it by position. That may open things up for your running backs.
And a quick throw here, that's complete. A gain of 13 and also a first down.
Would it be safe to say that as precise as routes are supposed to be run in the NFL, maybe they're not quite as precise in college ball?
That's accurate, yeah.
And I think we saw a college route in the NFL there. Just find the soft spot, find the dead zone, and find the first down. And that's what he just did. Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
Possible run anticipation here as the D-line sandwiches together. He can't bring him down.
The weight room does work.
It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Offensive linemen love creating space for their guys carrying the ball, but when that guy also breaks tackles and creates extra yardage, they almost feel like he's one of them, and they really embrace him.
And the offense still has a couple plays to go to pick up the first on 2nd down and 3. Again, Anderson looking for a seam but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Give him a yard on the run there, and that's going to set up a 3rd down and 2.
Tough day, tough sledding right there, and it's been that way the entire game. Not a whole lot of room to ramble for him.
Yeah, you're right. It's been that way all afternoon. Didn't get a whole lot better there. Back to throw. He goes underneath for Anderson. Down 7, and they've got to go for it here on 4th down. He'll wind up being stopped for no gain, and it'll lead to a 4th down. They'll run for it. Anderson. And he's able to pick up the first before he's brought down inside the 5 at the 4.
Deep in the red zone. This was 4-down territory from the start. And here, they won't wind up with a touchdown, but they do get a great consolation prize as they convert and pick up a first down inside the 5.
And this seemingly endless drive continues. And the offense inside the 5 here at the 4. It's 1st and goal. And yes, he's into the end zone. So they get the late score they needed. And now the extra point can tie this thing up in the final minute.
And while it appears the heavy lifting was accomplished by scoring the touchdown, they're still down 1. That extra point is not a gimme.
So here comes the kickoff now, all even here in this 4th quarter. Here's Taiwan Jones on the return. And he'll be taken down just past the 20 at about the 21-yard line. The Raiders offense now, they trot back out. They've got work to do, but they do still have a bit of time here.
And they've got to feel comfortable with that, but they have all their play sequences called. If they get out of bounds, that allows them to huddle and call another play. But if they don't, it's hurry up to the line of scrimmage and either spike it and stop the clock or continue to move it downfield in order to try and get in range and win this game.
See if they can do just that. Over the middle, Cooper with it. And he'll get this up to the 34-yard line. They give him 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs. They're going to hurry back to the line now. Now a play fake here on 1st down. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down.
On any passes in the middle of the field, anyone who's going after the football is going to be conscious that it's probably going to be contested and often physically. Sometimes that leads to drops.
Here's Carr throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. A gain of 4 on the play, and that'll bring up a 3rd down.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
It's 3rd down, 6 yards to go for the offense. One receiver to the left is Cooper.
All right, here we go.
Back to throw, Carr. He finds Roberts, complete. And he gets this one across midfield for the first down to the 46. And here in overtime, if the team that receives the ball scores a touchdown, it's over. If they don't, we can still have some more football.
That's exactly right. If they go down and kick a field goal, the other team gets a possession to either match it or score a touchdown to win the ball game. If both teams kick field goals, the next team to score wins. But if the receiving team throws a pick six or fumbles the ball and it gets picked up by the defense and they score, the game is over at that point.
And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. And Denver getting set to take the field. They're set for their first drive here in overtime. And this is where the crowd can really become a factor.
They've had to battle it all day, but I know what you're saying. In overtime, that gets doubled, doesn't it? At least, because now the crowd really wants to be involved and help their team, and that first drive can dictate the whole thing because they know if this team takes it downfield and scores a touchdown, it's game over.
It's been loud in here so far. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35.
The good old toss play, and this time they go to the left side, so give a lot of credit to the offensive line. Center, guard, tackle, able to seal that side. But the guy that we don't give enough credit to, wide receivers. They have to do a great job of blocking downfield. Otherwise, that play can be spilled in the backfield. In this case, everyone handled their responsibilities, and they picked up really nice yardage.
They go play action here on first down. They'll roll him out right. On the crossing route, he hits Demaryius Thomas. They'll get 17 yards there. And it'll give the Broncos a first down. They'll come out in the pistol. First down. Here's the run with Anderson. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Well, I think we know by now that every run is not going to be broken and get all the way to the end zone. But these short ones still have their value. You can still set up your play action and throw the football. You control the clock because you have the ball and they don't. And often the physicality sets the tempo for the game.
On second down, here's Simeon. And on the catch right side, this is Sanders. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. 15 yards there on the catch and run.
I like watching the wide receiver screen because it's a real teamwork play. Because guess what? The guy catching the ball, he'll get all the credit. But how about the people up to block in front of him, either fellow receivers or offensive linemen? That makes that play a really nice timing play, and sometimes it can break big.
Throwing middle, but it's incomplete. He was trying to get it to Benny Fowler that time. That'll bring up second down. And on second and 10 now. Back to the air, Simeon on second down. He throws and he hits the slant route to Thomas. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. That one goes for 13 yards and it moves the sticks.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. And here comes play number 6 on this drive. Simeon throwing again. Shreds the tackle. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete. And he's certainly not a guy that drops that football very often.
Indeed, because that's a bit of a surprise. I know he's in the middle of some traffic and people, bodies all around him, but he usually has the focus to haul that one in.
And the D-line pinching together must be expecting the run. So second and goal here from the 9. Here's Anderson. It'll be a gain of 5, and it's going to set up a 3rd and goal.
Well, Brandon, we always know that once you score 1 touchdown,
you're 2.
You're without a doubt. And so far today, he's got 1, but was denied as he tried to get the second one.
Now Simeon on 3rd and goal. Oh, so close but incomplete. Could have been a big turnover in overtime if he'd held on. Instead, though, it's 4th down. So here now is Brandon McManus in a big spot. This to at least get him a lead here in overtime. And McManus able to put it through. And with that, they will move out in front by 3. So they do get the short field goal here to get them the all-important overtime lead. But, Charles, you wonder if they'll wind up ruining the fact that they were able to get down into the red zone, yet not able to find the touchdown that would have won them the game.
Brandon, you're absolutely right. In overtime, when you get the ball first, the hope is your opponents never see the football. But now they're going to get a drive to try and win it, or at least keep the game alive with a field goal. And I'm getting a dictionary out to look up ruin.
They come out here in the eye. First throw of overtime for Carr. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete. The big tight end, Clive Walford, the intended target. And that'll bring up second down.
So much of this game is about leverage. We always talk about low man wins in the trenches. Well, it's like that in just about every position. And sometimes, if you lose that leverage and you're losing the battle, just jump up at the line of scrimmage and try and bat the ball away. And that's exactly what happened there.
And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. That one good for 10 yards. And that'll bring up what looks to be a 3rd and inches. Can't be more than a half a foot. Here's Carr to throw. And this is going to be incomplete.
Really good, smart play by the defense, understanding third and short, guarding the first down sticks, and being able to make a play on the football and bat it down.
And here's your ball game, down 3 in overtime, but they're going for this thing on 4th down.
We ready?
The Raiders do snap it. It's Carr. He finds Roberts, complete. And he's got the first down, yardage before being taken down at midfield. And that is the play of the game right now. Had to have the conversion to keep this one going in OT, and they got it.
They don't get it. As you noted, it's over. Down 3, they had to have it, picked it up. Now they get ready to go again with a new set of downs.
All right, here we go.
From midfield, here's Carr. Oh, it's intercepted. That'll seal it. Picked off by the all-pro linebacker. It's Von Miller. And that's how this one ends in dramatic fashion in overtime with the interception. We thought this game would be a good one. It did not disappoint into overtime.